All right, everyone, it's time for another garden update. I know it's only been like, what, 5 days since the last one, but a lot has been happening. You can see look at how much the chamomile's grown in literally like 3 days, I think, since I planted it or whatever. You know, that's, this stuff, you give it 3 more weeks, that stuff will be budding, basically. We've got an update on some crops. Those are baby turnips. Yes, indeed. 2 rows of them. I'm going to thin them out to half, and, yeah, their germination rate's quite high. So yeah, 3-year-old turnip seeds, no problem. That's a good sign for the Swiss chard and Brussels sprouts and cabbages to come, which haven't come up yet. That's not a surprise. They usually take a few extra days. This has been fully filled in. Took a lot of soil. Basically, it's a mix. What I did is 50-50 humus and topsoil, and then I added 5 bags total of a nice manure and compost mix on top, sort of spread it around. So this is extremely fertile, and this is going to be planted around mid-May for hotter weather crops and stuff. I just wanted to get it ready, get a few rains on it to help sort of mix the materials around. Sometimes it pays to have things. Ooh, that may be a zinnia right there, actually. This one, I mean. That's a weed. The Nicotiana will probably be pushing up fairly soon. I do have to do a little bit of weeding, but you know, in between the perennials, you can leave some of the chamomile and stuff. My dark iris, yeah, so to speak. Never had a red iris before. I've got those ones that are like yellow, white, and purple, and then I've got the small white ones and a few of the blue and purples, but I've never had a red one. Might get another, actually. I might get a second of these and maybe some yellow ones. I'd like to have more varieties. I like irises. Irises and lilies. They sort of go together. The chives fully recovered from being munched down by deer. It doesn't take them long. They're extremely easy to grow. I actually got more plants today. I've got 8 pepper plants. Well, actually, I think I got 10 pepper plants total. Yeah, 10 pepper plants. 4 tomatoes. I've got to get 2 more, the Romas. And then I got to wait until there are cucumber seedlings in. And got to get those, you know, when they're available. That won't be probably for another week or 2. I filled in, by the way, there. I've got to, you know, sort of dig around. I still needed, I forgot actually when I was at the store, what I want to do is get about 20 more red bricks and move this in far enough so that that whole area around here is easily maintained. I forgot to do that. I've thought about actually connecting it through, going like through where the dirt is, sort of around here. I'm not sure about that though. If I did, it would be closer to this side, I think, than the other. That would allow me to maintain pretty much the whole area, and then I can split those hostas up actually that are around the base of the peach tree. And what I could do is take those, split them up, you know, when they sort of bush out, and they'll be pushing up through. There's actually, you can't see them probably, but they're starting to peek out through the soil. And take them, break them up into halves, and have this whole area be nothing but a perennial clump. That'd provide a little bit of a, you know, afternoon shade, which would be nice. But everything's growing well. The irises, the lilies, everything's pushing up, getting bushy. There's some catnip, some columbines, certainly a lot of chamomile. I'll probably only leave a couple of catnip plants in this area. Mostly I'll have them out back, out there, once I clean up back there. By the way, it's about 55 degrees. It's a little bit on the cloudy side today, but it's actually perfect. And I got my Neptune's Harvest kelp meal fertilizer in, which is all I use. It's organic. Also, the garden soil I use, organic, and the topsoil is, well, it's just soil, so who cares? It smells like cow's asshole out here, which to Vermonters is not a bad smell. Some of you may disdain it. I don't care. It's like, you know, you feed them grass and poop comes out, and you grow vegetables in the poop, I guess, or something like that. I can't wait till all the other seedlings come up. I really, really want Swiss chard. And this area has never been planted on, so maybe the wilt that struck them the last time, that didn't fully kill them, and I was an idiot for pulling things out, maybe it'll be more delayed and I'll get a better crop of things. You got to do crop rotation stuff. That's why I put carrots here, because there were collards here. They had, you know, Fusarium wilter, whichever one they got, and carrots are immune to it, so it's not a big problem. Carrots are great. Love them. This whole area, if that asparagus doesn't come up on the edge, this whole area will be nothing but a huge stand of cucumbers. I'm thinking I can probably get 11 cucumbers in there. Be fine. That's kind of woody soil. What I'd do is I'd get 1 more bag of the garden soil and I'd sort of dig in around them, you know, do 1 foot sort of diameter areas for each of those. There's some wood in there. This is hugel cultured. It has a bunch of that mulch scooped up in along with hay and leaves and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on in these areas. You can see all these perennials. The sedum is coming out. I broke off the tops, sort of cleared out. There are irises in there. There are phlox. There are lilies. A little bit of everything. This area I'd like to leave perennial and just have the outer edge sort of over here and over there be cucumbers. There is asparagus coming up. That's an asparagus plant right there. I think there's another one somewhere around here that's just starting to, I can't remember where it is. There are a bunch of poppies. Those are poppy plants, mostly. Some of these aren't actual, well, I don't know. I'd have to wait. Some of them are mutants, so their leaves look a little bit different. I had been growing that lineage for 15 years, so some of them look like Chernobyl poppies, I guess. We got our one Oriental poppy here, which would be excellent. I love Oriental poppies, big red buds. And then they only bloom for like a week, but, you know, it's okay. Even if you deadhead them, usually, they won't put out a second grouping of flowers. So yeah, the garden is way more fertile, number one. Larger than it was before, number two. Certainly better defended. You can see there's like some grass and shit trying to come up. I'll just pile more hay on top of it and stomp it out. So far, though, I don't really see many weeds coming up in the path areas for the most part. It's just basically over here where it's just hay. That area didn't have the leaf material underneath. Everywhere else, there's a layer of leaves, a fairly thick, like a good ½ inch of leaves that I just piled on, and then I put the hay on top, and that's much more effective. Sun is struggling to come out. But the peppers, I'm thinking with the tomatoes and peppers, I'd like to put just the tomatoes in this area. You know, you've got the carrots over there, and they coexist peacefully. But a couple of the peppers, the hot peppers on the edge here. And then as far as the other peppers, they may end up going in here, but that's not determined yet. I've got them in the breezeway. I've got all those other plants. I've got thyme. I got thyme plants. I got sweet basil. I need to get red basil, cucumbers, and 2 Roma tomato plants. And that's pretty much it. I'm not doing corn and beans this year, even though I like them. I don't have the room, number one, and the corn really leaches the soil, number two. If I was going to do that, I'm thinking about this. Excuse the hideous compost pile here. I'd probably take this corner and I'd square it off and have a big, that'd be about a 10 by 10 area. I could fit quite a bit of corn and beans in there, but that's for, I'm not going to do that, anything like that this year, and I don't even know if I'll be here next year, so who cares? Wherever I am, I must garden. This is going to have, you have no idea how many, and also zucchini are going to need to be put in. Probably 4 plants. But a single zucchini plant, I mean, you wouldn't believe how much you get out of it. I'm just wondering if any of the other asparagus survived. I'm thinking that animals may have eaten up virtually all of the other plants, unfortunately. There's some random phlox growing in the middle there. I'll have to transplant that. I love the phlox. It comes up like a little bush, like 2 feet high, gets bushy, big pink flowers, blooms for a couple months, actually, without deadheading at all. So it's a really showy plant. Having a clump of it around that slightly dilapidated lilac is nice. By the way, again, the peach tree is beginning to green out a little. We'll see if it does any blossoms. I wouldn't think so. There is also going to be a frost, probably a light frost in a couple of days. I do not know whether that will affect it. It probably will, and there's really nothing that I can do about that. So unfortunately, likely no peaches this year. Could be worse though, the tree could die or something like that. And then this lilac is quickly beginning to green out. It's gonna be lovely. And this fence is a lot cheaper than stuff I had before, the, what was it, 16-inch mesh or something. I can't wait till all the other stuff starts to pop out here though. Eagerly awaiting. I love Brussels sprouts. Like what I want to do, I want to have some fresh and steamed. I'd probably eat them raw to tell the truth because I'm nuts. Fresh and steamed, and then also plenty to pickle. I've never had pickled Brussels sprouts, but it sounds amazing. Like things that other people snub and they're like, yeah, I'm not really a fan, I think are delicious. That's about all. Peace out.